In this activity, we will configure IPv4 static and default routes. So first of all, we will be configuring both of these routes, static and default routes, and we'll look into the existing network and then configure the routes. All right, so as you can see on the screen, so we have a network with 3 routers, R1, R2, and R3. Just by looking at the network, we need to examine and evaluate the need for static routing. So for that, let's first, looking into the topology diagram, we could easily, find out that this is one network, this is another network, and this is a third network, and this is fourth network. So, these are the number of networks, and the fifth network, there's also a fifth network. So these are the number of networks we have in this diagram. And as we have already learned, for static routing, if there is a stub network or a stub router, then you should basically, it is recommended to use a static routing. And also if because the stub router is a router which only has one upstream router in this particular situation, and this is also a stub network. And then we will see how we can configure this router with static routes. All right, so first of all, we're gonna configure router R1 with standard static routes, with the next hop routes. So I'm gonna click on router R1, and I'm gonna go to the CLI interface of it. Okay, I'm gonna go to the privilege mode, and let's quickly see how many interfaces this router has. Show IP interface brief. Some of the interfaces are configured, and let's look into the routing table of this router. Show IP route. This router, in the routing table, there are 2 directly connected networks. So if I filter this information connected, there are 2 directly connected routes in the routing table. All right, and I'm gonna have to basically enter a static route in this router for the other network. So R1 is the router that I am on right now, and I have to enter this static routing entries in the routing table of R1 about this destination network, this one, and this destination network, and this destination network. So I will be basically entering 3 static entries in this router R1. So let's go ahead and do that. And remember the command to enter the static routes. It was, so first of all, I have to go into the global configuration mode, and then I'm gonna have to enter like IP route. Okay, 172.31.0.0. So what is it? So this is the destination network address, 172.31.0.0. So this is the address. You see the cursor on the screen? This is the address, destination network address. And what is the mask? Is /24. So it's gonna be 255.255.255.0. All right, and the next hop address, because it's going to be a next hop address. What is the next hop address? Well, this is the address of R2, this interface, right? And it's going to be 172.31.1.193. All right, so I'm going to press enter. But how did I, know about this next hop interface? So for that, I just, if you hover your mouse over here in R2, it will show you, see, it will show you the, the interface. So I just hover my mouse over here, and on the R2, and it says serial 0/0/0 is up, and the IP address is 172.31.1.193. So this is the the next hop address which I configured, which I basically entered the static entry, and now I'm gonna add the second entry, IP route, about the second destination network address, which is 172.31.1.1 192.168.196. So which address is that? Which network is that? This one, 172. You see my cursor? 172.31.1.196. This is the destination network address. And what is the subnet mask? 255.255.255.252. It's, I guess, /26. Yes, it is. No, /30. Yes, it is /30. All right. And the next subaddress is going to be the same. 172.31.1.193. It's going to be the same for all the other static entries. So, and now I'm going to enter the third static entry, recursive static entry, which is this network. This one. 172.31, 172.31.1.128, and the subnet mask is going to be /26. All right, so 255.255.255.192. All right, and the next sub address is going to be the same, 31.1.193. All right, so I have entered these three entries. So I'm gonna go back. All right, I'm gonna look into this show IP route, and now it shows me all the entries that I have made in this, and I can also see show IP route connected. 2 entries for connected, and for that this one are the entries. So you see these entries. This one, 1, 2, and the others that I have configured. All right, so let's go to the router R2. Okay, router R2, and in router R2 I'm going to configure a directly attached static route, because it's going to be a point-to-point. Remember, for directly attached, it is recommend if it's a point-to-point configuration, directly attached is more feasible. So enable and show IP interface brief. All right, and show IP route. So let's enter some entries into it, and then I'm gonna enter 2 commands, 2 directly connected static entries. IP route 172.31.1.0 space 255.255.255.128 space, and the interface is going to be the exit interface, serial 0/0/0. This is how I entered the make the entry. So I'm gonna make the second entry, IP route 172.31.1.128. all right, the subnet mask is 255.255.192, and it's going to be serial 0/0/1 via the other interface. All right, so I have successfully configured both the interfaces. And how did I know the networks? So this R2 is gonna connect to this 172.31.1.0, and the other one is .1.128, which is this network. All right, so I have configured it with directly connected interface. In the next activity, which is the continuation of this activity, we will configure router R3 and check the connectivity.